this was just a misunderstanding, and then I'll glide out the front door, free man, free to have dinner with you, if you want to.
I can feel it when I close my eyes. Don't wanna cry myself to sleep tonight. Don't wanna see myself in this lie. You see, the thing is, I would rather die. I'm going too slow, I'ma hit the nitro. Feel it, baby, I know. I think I'm going psycho. I'm going too slow, I'ma hit the nitro. Feel it, baby, I know. I think I'm going psycho. If I could fall asleep, I would. Oh, I would. Maybe I'd see the things I could. I might go back to my own childhood. See myself the way that I should.
Pop, drop, and speak a chop. Take the rhythm.
going psycho. In my mind, peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, I know how you felt. I'm feeling so lost in my mind. Peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, cause I know how you felt. Fall in love with you again, wasn't right in the head back then. One more time before the end, I'll say goodbye to you even if I can. You wanna escape the feeling, even if you try. So listen and believe me, cause I have fucking tried. I'm feeling so lost in my mind. Peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, I know how you felt. I'm feeling so lost in my mind. Peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, cause I know how you felt. One step in the right direction, two steps back. Lucky all you want is perfection, won't happen. One step in the right direction, that's my bad. Lucky all you want is perfection. Don't be mad. I'm feeling so lost in my mind. Peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, cause I know how you felt. I'm feeling so lost in my mind. Peace is coming out, peace is coming out. Now that I am cursed, it's alright. Cause I know how you felt, cause I know how you felt. Journey's over, I can't believe I'm sober. If I take one step closer, I'll be back to nowhere. You know I'd run 1,000 miles just to see you smile. See my reflection in your eyes, breath of the wild. This is my life, even if I hate it, it will always be mine. I'll just have to chase it all, then I'll be just fine. I get used to make it, might as well try. I promise I won't fake it, baby. Don't worry, I'm right here. I'm lonely, but you are my savior. It's cozy, I'm the world. Call me up if you wanna see me, feel free. I'll be up every time you need me. So see if you wanna be here for me, then we can be something. Call me up if you ever need assistance. If you do, I'll be there in an instant. I can fix it if you wanna listen, but for now I think I'll keep my distance.
We live in a cynical world. A cynical. You complete me.
I am out here for you. You don't know what it's like to be me out here for you. It is an up at dawn, dried, swallowing siege that I will never fully tell you about, okay? Help me. Help me. Help me.
I'm not alone. Inside.
I'm not alone. Inside. Good evening everyone and welcome to the fourth round for season 2 of the AOR Hype Energy Oceania F1 Championship on Xbox One, powered by Elgato here at the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir. Last time out in Azerbaijan, Warden finally converted a last lap lead which he's had in all 3 races so far into his first victory of the season after New Zealand Ryan suffered a front wing issue during the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Joining me in the commentary box this week is SWARMHD, and welcome to your first race of the season, Swarm. What's going to happen this week in Bahrain? Is it going to be 2-2 between Warden and Ryan, or are we going to get a new story to talk about this week?
I think it's going to be very hard to tell. I've been, following the season very closely, and Ryan does seem to have the edge ever so slightly. However, as we saw in, Baku, a little mistake that can just be Warden's chance. But to be fair, it's anyone's chance. Looking at the championship, we've got people like Master Berserk who can capitalise on it. Even I think it was HO at China got on the podium. So it's going to be an interesting race. I can say that for sure.
And we've already had some big news, just as you probably would have seen on the stream, is Tim at Marduk leaving the session. Apparently he was in the wrong car. I'm not sure if that's the reason why he left, but he has left the session. So if he can't join back, that'll be a big story for the race itself.
Yeah, I can clarify, he was actually in the Sauber. We weren't talking about this, but yeah, he was in the Sauber, not the Mercedes, which he's meant to be in, but he's just joined back there, so we'll have to wait and see. But
so we have Warden on the medium compound tyre. That's an interesting strategy. You wouldn't expect anyone to start on the hardest compound, would you, around here?
No, definitely. It's an interesting call from Warden. I think, the track is, it's not the easiest, but then because of the layout, bear in mind that sector 1, sector 3, you've got the straights on, which when it comes to obviously downforce, that'll be another talking point. You're going to need the speed, and obviously if he's starting on the mediums, you've got to feel like in sector 1 he could drop down a couple of positions going off the start of the race. So it's going to be an interesting sort of strategy from him if he decides to stick with it. Obviously this could just be his banker lap, just set a time, see what he can do on the mediums, then maybe puts on a set of softs or super softs.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does later on in the session. But looking ahead to qualifying, we got Deathbro, who is the first driver out on track, and he'll be the first one to set a time for the driver's aim as he heads through the fast complex in the middle sector.
Yeah, I was just standing on board. I'm Deathbro, and also I think it's actually Brock does stuff in the Renault there. So I was just on the second DRS straight, currently going up to turn 11 as Chimchard's actually retired from the session in sector 2. I don't know what's happened to him. He's in the wall. He's lost his front left. I'm not too sure. Ooh. I think this is just turn 7 going into turn 8, I believe. Yeah, so I don't know how he's managed that, but that is sadly Chimchar out of the session here. But I'm going to jump back on board with the Renault of Brock does stuff as his teammate Formula Fisher's just gone wide there into turn 8. So seems to be a troubling corner for some of the guys. Oh, HO, sorry, it's just set the quickest, the first time with 28.7, and then Brock with a 30.7, which probably isn't his pace. With Deathbro and McLaren with a 29 lap pretty much, and then the Williams with a 29.9. So a lot of different times there. Definitely not their pace for sure. Yeah,
so you can obviously tell they're all putting them in bank laps there. Obviously, as you said, HO with a 28.7 so far, fastest from Deathbro by 0.3 of a second. Let's have a look. Where are the other drivers? Ryan's just started his first final lap, has dropped there, puts in a 28.6 and goes fastest. The New Zealand Ryan, the championship leader, heads down towards turn number 3 now. Number 4, sorry, on his first run. Let's see what his first sector is like compared to Drop Bear.
Yeah, we just had a couple of laps coming from Jetson. He's gone P5 currently, and also Formula Fish, who's just gone P7, so just above his teammate there.
So Ryan at the moment is 0.2 down on the first sector time set by Drop Bear as he heads down towards turns 9 and 10. Tricky left-handed out. It's very, very easy to lock up on, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's one of the hardest corners I think there are, and you have to nail it in order to get the good exit for the straight, because, you know, turn 11, it is an overtaking spot, not the easiest, but it will do. H has just gone quicker with a 28.4, so a good lap from him. And I was actually going to ask you, in terms of quality times, what sort of time do you think will be pole position here today?
I'd imagine it'll be low 28s, maybe even high 27s for pole position.
No, I do
we'll have
agree
to wait
with
and see
that.
what
I think. I was just going to say 27s is a bit of a. I think a couple of guys could do it potentially, but obviously we don't know for us. Ryan set a 29.5, and I don't know if he's run out of fuel there, but he's gonna. You know, he's got plenty of fuel, but he's currently P5, so not somewhere we expect him.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ryan's strategy is. He might want to be starting on the soft tyre because it's very marginal for the one stop on the super softs. So unless his mind is to start on the soft tyres and then move to the mediums later on, we'll have to wait and see. Who else is on the lap at the moment? Master Berserk has just started his first lap, heading towards turn 4 now in the Ferrari. He's very quick around the circuit, Master Berserk, so he'll be looking to even challenge his teammate tonight, Warden, in the other Ferrari, as he puts in the 28.7 for the first sector.
I'm on board with Warden now in sector 3. He's just come around the final corner, which I believe is actually, well, there's two sort of corners there due to the sort of track layout, but it's mainly just the final corner. But he's coming out to the line now. 29.7 for Warden on the mediums, we should point out.
Is there if you the hardest tyre option, is it possible to get 2 sets of medium tyres for the race, or do you only get one set no matter what you do?
I believe it could only be one, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I think, obviously, you know, whatever tyre he qualifies on, that's Master Berserk's diving in. So, interesting call from the other Ferrari. But no, going back to Warden on the mediums, I believe it could only be one, but don't hold me to that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to say the least. It's a word I'm going to use a lot probably today, but I think it's one of the main words that is going to describe the race with all the different strategies that seems to be going on from a lot of the drivers. Obviously some starting on the super softs, and then you've got Warden on the mediums, and then a couple of guys starting on the soft tyres. So again, it's going to be interesting and hopefully a good race, and it's going to go down to the wire for sure.
So Warden is still out on track, but he's not on a particularly hot lap here, and he'll be coming into the pits this time around. So there's 3.5 minutes to go into session. Are we, as Ryan puts on the soft tyre, so Ryan, it does look like we'll be using the soft tyre to qualify on, which will explain the 29.5. It's obviously a slower lap to ensure that he can go faster on the soft tyre.
Yeah, it's gonna, like I said, interesting calls with the tyres, because where are Ryan and Warden, you know, two guys who pretty much have been leading, you know, the majority of the races for sure. So they're going to be most likely starting further down in quali, so they're going to want to try and jump some positions off the start and probably try not to get, you know, held up too much. But this could actually benefit some of the other guys, such as HO, like I said before. Potentially getting on the podium again today, you know, we don't know for sure, but someone like Drop there as well is currently, you know, they're starting on the front row of the grid, so everything is still to play for. But it's going to be, it's going to be interesting. I need a better word than interesting. It's going to be marvellous. Let's go with that.
So what would you do in this situation? Would you favour track position, or would you favour the race strategy?
I think I would favour probably strategy around here. Personally, that would be my call, but it's a tricky one. It is a tricky one to, you know, decide, because each driver is different when it comes to their own game plan. You know, someone like Ryan, for instance, they may prefer to start, you know, with the softs on their strategy, rather than maybe someone like Warden who prefers track position. Obviously we don't know for sure, but from how things are looking, it does seem that strategy is what they're going for. However, we don't know, because we did have yellows in sectors 3.
So of the 16 drivers left in qualifying, we have 8 of them on the soft tyre. Make that 7.
Yeah, that's
problems with tyres. And for anyone wondering who's watching, Timo Marlock is back in the lobby and is out on track, and he is on the soft compound tyre. But he isn't in the Mercedes this week. He's been put in the Sauber due to not picking his car in time, which is a bit of a mistake from Ben.
Bit of a rookie error, you could say. But I mean, he's on track. He's going to be setting a lap, and he's going to the soft. So similar strategy to Ryan and Warden. So there's going to be a battle between them, I feel like, on the soft tyres for the first stint. Obviously, in terms of strategy, probably softs to mediums for the guys, and then the super soft guys are probably going to try and do super softs to mediums, but it will be a lot harder for them, 100%. I believe we just had a time from Brock Does Stuff. He just went P5
yes,
there on the softs. So
good job there from him on the soft, yeah. Exactly right. Top 5 on the soft tyre. We'll see if he can hang on to it as Ryan starts.
Sorry, just quickly point out, Death Row was about nearly 2 temps up in coming around the final corner, so he could be on for a good lap here. He's improved. He actually lost a bit of time going around the final corner, as we have got some retirements from Brock Gustav and Death Row as well. Obviously, feel like they can't improve their time, as quali is officially over now with a couple of guys, I think, coming to the end of their laps, as Warden's about 4 temps up in sector 2, so he's one to keep an eye out for.
Yep, and I can tell Ryan's also 2 temps up in his first sector time. And he'll be the first of the top 3 main guys that we'll all be focusing on this week as he comes through the end of the middle sector now, and I'll tell you what his middle sector time is. It is another 2 temps up, so he's 4 temps up overall on this lap. So we'll see what he can do in the final sector here. New Zealand around the championship later. On the first 2 races of the season, HO goes even faster at 28.1 to put his car on a provisional pole, but here's New Zealand Ryan, the championship leader. Where does he put his Mercedes? Only 6th fastest. So he's got some work to do in the race. Warden's heading towards the final corner now in his Ferrari. Can he jump Ryan as Ben goes 7th fastest? Make that 8th fastest. Jackson goes 7th now. Warden crosses the line and he goes only 8th fastest. So not the greatest laps there from the championship contenders, as Master Berserk in the other Ferrari goes 4th fastest. Great lap from him on the soft tyre.
Yeah, it does seem sort of a battle for P6 really between sort of the main championship guys at the minute. But Master Berserk, he definitely seems to be in the best position. But in terms of the front row, obviously HO with a 28.1. I mean, let's appreciate that time. You know, nearly 5 temps between him and Drop Bear in the Haas. So, you know, good work from him. But obviously, yeah, Drop Bear starting on the front row, and then Funk Guru there. So some of these guys who you wouldn't expect. I mean, Funk Guru hasn't scored any points. I believe Drop Bear, he's got a couple. And then HO, you know, he's sort of up there. But yeah, so Funk Guru, he hasn't scored any points yet. He's starting 3rd at Bahrain here today. Looking down the obviously quali grid, the main talking point is with Warden, the fact that he's not starting on his mediums and gone onto the softs, which an interesting call from him. But obviously the mediums in terms of times just weren't working for him one bit.
I'm not sure what we're waiting on here, because
I think it's the Williams. He's just in the pit at the minute. Just got to wait for him to retire all the 15 seconds.
yeah. Apparently it might be Neon Tree Dome that's causing the issue. Him leaving.
He's just left the session.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens here. Here we go. We're finally going to progress. And here are the qualifying results. So yeah, HO on pole, half a second clear of Drop Bear, who put in a great lap, you know. Underrated, obviously. Haven't spoken about him throughout the whole of qualifying. Fun Guru third, Berserk on the soft tyre, first of the soft tyre runners in fourth. Death, Ryan, Jetson, Ward and Ben, those quartet, all on the soft tyre. And then you got Luke, Revelation, Rutnik Bird, Brock. And we got Jared, Poms, Chimchar not setting any times, and obviously Neon unfortunately has left the session. So, as we head towards the race, who do you think? Swarm, what's your prediction?
I'm going to say, I think the strategy guys are going to benefit here. So, my prediction for the podium, I'm going to say Ryan, then Ben, then Master Berserk. And then I think Walden will probably get fourth.
Interesting call. We'll see if that comes true. And we're just moments away from getting this race underway. It'll be intriguing to see how the strategy unfolds.
I just realised with my prediction it's the 2 Mercs and then the 2 Ferraris as well. I've just realised that.
Yes, we'll see if you can get it right. I'm going for a shock. I'm going for Master Berserk to win the race, followed by Ryan, Ben, and then Warden.
But we will have to wait and see as we are getting ready.
I believe HO will be just behind on the 2-stop strategy, which I think he'll have to go on. I'm not sure if he can make the 1-stop work from his position, but if he can, then he's some genius on his tyres. So yeah, Neon Trudom has not made the race, unfortunately, by the looks of it. So he'll be missing out this week, unfortunately for him. But we're getting this Bahrain Grand Prix underway with 5 lights on. And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a good start from HO on pole position. Drop Bear weaving around on the inside line. Does he have a move on HO into the first corner? He doesn't. Great start from Master Berserk up into 3rd place. And Ryan and Fun Guru squabbling for positions. And it looks like it's so far. There's a Ferrari off, and it's Warden. Warden's off, and he's plumb last. Just as I'm saying, it's a clean first corner. Warden is off and down into last place. Unfortunate for him in the Ferrari. So, good start from HO. He's already taken off half a second ahead of Drop Bear and Berserk. Good start, making up a place. But Warden, terrible start. Who did he come into contact with? Did you see?
I was on building, it was actually turn 3. I don't think he actually had contact. It was sort of just sort of spinning out and dirty air. He had a bit of contact going into turn 1, I believe, with I'm Deaf Bro, who's actually now last. So yes, something has happened to the McLaren. Maybe a bit of karma, not too sure completely. But it did seem that it was Warden just by himself. We've got a 5-second stop-go penalty apparently for Bird further down the field. But with obviously Warden spinning out, he's got a long race ahead of him. Who was that? Funguru in the McLaren. He's just run wide, which is now dropped into P7. So put Ryan up to 4, Ben up to 5th, and then Jared up to 6. So the soft guys, they're making some good ground. Obviously Master Berserk in 3rd, and they're going to be the soft runners. Going to want to try and chase down the 2 leaders of HO and Drop Bear in the super softs.
Now, Terry has made a good start. HO coming from last on the grid. Not HO, sorry. Jared. They came from last week in Azerbaijan. Jared came from last on the grid to 6th place on the opening lap. So a great start from him in the Toro Rosso.
Funguru and Brock Duster. Try to butt in going into turn 2. Brock Duster has just allowed his teammate falling a fish through, but a little bit of contact between the Renault and the McLaren, which has compromised them both, lost out a lot of positions, and now the hat of Bird has just gone up the inside, but he seems to have actually run in a bit deep. It seems that Williams, the Fevelation, has had a moment as well. He's spinning all over the place. So yeah, we've got some pitters. So Chimchar and I'm Deaf Bro, both already pitted, so they're definitely going to have to do a 2-stop.
Yeah, you would think so. You can't get to the end of the race from here on. But yeah, great start from Jared, up obviously 11 positions into 6th place. So he must have avoided all the first corner carnage and just been in the right place, right time. But HO already pulling away, 1.5 seconds ahead of Drop Bear with Berserk and Ryan behind Drop Bear. And Berserk seems to be holding up the two, well, should be Mercedes teammates, but in this race, Ben's obviously in the Sauber. For those who haven't noticed, Ben joined the session normally. He just forgot to pick his car. So he's stuck in the Sauber for this race as HO sets the fastest lap of the race and extends his margin to nearly 1.6 seconds, with Berserk just behind. DRS are now enabled on this third lap, and we should get to see some overtaking action, hopefully.
Yeah, it does seem at the minute all the overtakes come from people making mistakes. I was on board with the Hasselberg again, and he locked up into turn 10, which we were saying about, very easy to lock up, and yeah, just ran wide completely, lost some positions, and now trying to make some back. But he has got Warden behind him, obviously the man who did spin out on the first lap into turn 3, and he's going to want to try and get back up the field just to really get some decent points here today. But the battle for third of the Ferrari of Master Berserk, New Zealand Ryan and then Ben, it's going to be definitely livening up. You can say that, as Master Berserk won't have DRS from Drop Bear, but Ryan and Ben both will. So it could be a good little three-way battle for third position here.
Yeah, so it just seems to me that Berserk is struggling a little bit compared to the two Mercedes teammates behind him. I don't know if it's dirty air or if it's just he's taking it a bit easier, but Ryan and Ben do seem to have the upper hand at the moment in terms of pace. But Berserk's got track position, and track position is all that matters at the end of the day, as we saw obviously in real life with Vettel under pressure from Bottas, and Bottas being the faster car at the end of the race, but not being able to get past Vettel.
Yeah, no, that's a good analogy there. But no, one thing I have noticed with Master Berserk, he's got a whole extra lap of fuel compared to the guys behind, so that could be what's sort of weighing him down a little bit. He's got he's got 4.3 extra compared to Ryan and Ben, who've got about 3.2, so that could be the key factor. But it does seem the Ferrari is slowly closing to the Hassel drop there, but H are now 2 seconds in front, so he's going to have to just try and relax here. As we have got our first retirement of the race. The Hasselberg, I believe is what, I don't know, I'm not too sure. When it is on track, where he's managed.
But Warden had a bit of a spin as well, and he lost a lot more time as well. I think it may have been with Sato, was it? I think it was Sato who was racing and coming through turn 3, just had a bit of a spin and is back down to 13th place. So not a good start so far for Warden. But as we look ahead, Ryan is closing. He's right on the back of Berserk. It's just 0.2 of a second between them two for the final spot on the podium. And we'll see if Berserk can get into the DRS range of Drop Bear to give himself a bit of a defence down the start-finish straight. They head around the final corner to end lap 4 and start lap 5 as HO has checked out 2.5 seconds, nearly is the margin, but we'll see. Does Berserk have DRS? Yeah, he does. So he'll be able to survive the attack from Ryan this time around, but he does look faster, Ryan.
Yeah, definitely. We've got yellow flags in sector 2. I'm not too sure who that was for. Maybe the Williams of Federation. Sadly, not too sure there. But yeah, this battle for third, it's, well, maybe second with the gap now between Drop Bear and Master Berserk. It is slowly closing, and all of these guys are just, you know, incredibly close going into sector 2 now and going into turn 8. Because Ryan, he's having a look. He's trying to find maybe the weak spot on the Ferrari, and he's all over the back of him. Going to go into turn 9 and 10. He's going to look on the inside. Decides not to, but they're going to have DRS. Well, all of these guys are going to have DRS, but it's all about in terms of setup, who has got sort of least downforce in order to carry more speed. It doesn't seem that anyone's close enough for a move at the minute going into turn 11.
Yeah, you can see Berserk obviously having to go defensive into 9 and 10, but no way through for Ryan. I think Berserk's just got a bit of luck with Drop Bear with his DRS, but Drop Bear's made a little bit of a mistake. They're heading into the final corner. Berserk flows right up onto him, so maybe we might see Berserk as Drop Bear again runs wide in the final corner. So could Master Berserk DRS and slipstream his way past as a Haas driver. He's gaining on him as Drop Bear. He's going defensive into the first corner. Berserk switches back, tight on the brakes, and he goes in a big dip. Drop can't get the switch back, and Berserk is up into second place.
Yeah, but hold on, we're going 3 wide here
look at
between
Ryan.
Drop Bear, Ryan and Ben. Ryan had a little mistake in turn 3, I think, from the dirty air, and that allowed Ben just to capitalise on it and get past both Drop Bear and Ryan. So Ben's now up into third, Master Berserk into second, and Drop Bear currently side by side. It does seem that Drop Bear has just sort of let Ryan go. He tried to defend it, but he couldn't seem to do much. But the soft guys, second, third and fourth at the minute, a lot of change in position, and Drop Bear ultimately lost out quite a lot. So he's going to have to just try and carry on, maybe even try and catch the guys in front. But at the same time, he doesn't want to let Jared through, even though there is a 5-second gap between the two Toro Rossos of Jared and Jetson. But it's all about sort of strategy from Drop Bear. He probably doesn't want to waste his tyres too much in terms of attacking and also defending if he's going to try and do the one stop. But again, it's going to be some interesting calls.
So we'll see what can happen now with Ryan and Ben. Now that Berserk doesn't have the DRS protection from Drop Bear. We'll see if they can close in on the Ferrari driver or whether the pace is just even and they stay as they are. But it'll be interesting to see if the soft tyre runners do start to catch HO on the super softs. It's lap 7 of this race, so you'll be expecting the super soft tyres to slowly but surely be falling away.
Yes, for sure. I mean, the gap, we'll have to keep an eye on the gap between HO and Master Berserk. And as soon as that starts sort of dropping down, I think that will be HO's time to dive it in. And if he is going for the 2-stop, there's a couple of battles going down for P8 with Front Guru and Former Fish and Poms. Obviously, not many points up for grabs, but any points can matter when it comes to their championship fight between sort of their rivals. As you know, everyone's got their rivals. As they're actually side by side there, and set to 2 between Poms and Formula Fish. And this does seem that Force India has got the move done, and he's going to be pushing on. But Poms is on the softs, so the sheer fact he's getting past these super soft guys may show that maybe the softs are better, even though HO's stretching out a bigger gap to Master Berserk in the Ferrari. 4 seconds now.
Yep, 4 seconds. We're staying put at the 4-second mark. So HO might be very confident at the moment as Revelation picks up a 3-second penalty. But yeah, if the gap hovers around 4 seconds for the next couple of laps, then HO will be really happy with that. Because that should put him into the one-stop window if he can, continue to keep the margin and not take too much life out of his tyres.
Yeah, we have Jared now. He's closed into the back of the Haas of Drop Bear. He's got DRS. Would he go for a move going into turn 1 or even turn 1, 2 and 3? He's looking on the inside, Jared. The Toro Rosso is going for the move. He's lunged up the inside, very similar to what Master Berserk did. And he has got the move nice and easy there. As we have got our first pitter, the Renault of Formula Fish. So lap 8, maybe his tyres have just had enough and wants to go on to a different set, which looks to be the softs. Which it is, so maybe he's going to be definitely doing the 2-stop, but it's a matter of fact of what will the other super soft guys do, as there's not many of them on track. Just having a look, there are only 3 of them.
Yep, 3 of them, and we got Ben all over the back of Berserk here. This 0.2 is the margin. We head onto the back straight too, as Berserk has run wide at turn 10, and that could put him under pressure from Ben down the second DRS straight, but I think the straight might be a bit too small for Team at Marlac to put himself into a position where he can pass the Ferrari. But definitely looks clear to me now that Team at Marlac especially is faster than Master Berserk.
Yeah, he's going to want to try and get as close as possible going into, well, the final corner, so he can get a good exit, get the DRS, which he will have, and then also get a good amount of slipstream in order to try and get past him into turn 1. It's quite a long straight here, and we can make up a bit of ground. So just staying on board with Ben now. He's got a DRS, obviously he's in rich, but it does seem that Master Berserk ran that final corner. He does get a pretty good exit, which means that Ben can't get close enough, as Ryan is still behind. He hasn't dropped off massively.
Yep, so second, third and fourth all within a second of each other. The Fun Guru comes into the pits for his first stop. So super soft runners are slowly coming in for a change of tyres. He puts on a set of soft tyres. So yeah, not much has settled down so far. 9 laps already on the board, and there's been action everywhere you look. And the action is continuing between second, third and fourth at the moment, with Ben once again applying the pressure to the Ferrari Master Berserk. And Berserk has slowly started, he's starting to catch HO slow. The gap's now 3.8 seconds. It was briefly 3.7 seconds. So slowly but surely, now 3.6. Slowly but surely Master Berserk is clawing his way back in contention for the win.
It'll be interesting to see what HO decides to do. You know, does he dive it in and go for the 2-stop, or does he just stay out and sort of really lose a fair bit of time, and maybe even to the fact that he's going to have to start defending from these guys? As no, he's actually diving it in. So HO, the current race leader, is diving it in on lap 9, lap 10 now. As Master Berserk here trying to break the slipstream from Team Armada. So it's actually Ben just dived out the inside going into turn 1. That's a great move from the Mercedes, or the Sauber as it is today, which could allow Ryan to potentially get past Master Berserk. He got him compromised in turn 2 and 3. Ryan is looking on the outside going up to turn 4. He hasn't managed to get the move done yet, but Team Armada is currently in the race lead after a great move into turn 1 on the Ferrari, and now he's probably, well, part of him's probably hoping that his teammate of Ryan can get past, you know, more points for them overall. However, at the same time, he doesn't want Ryan to catch Ben, and then those guys start battling and maybe lose some more time. But a great move from Ben into turn 1.
Great move indeed. You can already see the pace that Ben does have, as Berserk again has a big slide through turn 10, and that's going to put Ryan right onto him. Berserk comes into 11. Ryan is side by side with him, but he can't go around the outside and has to try again, maybe down the pit straight. But HO has put on the medium tyre, so that could be an indication that he's trying to go to the end of the race in that Red Bull. But Ryan here all over the back of Berserk. It's just 0.1 as Berserk even has to cover a little bit into the final corner, and you can see the margin that Ben's already pulled out on the Ferrari as they come in, as they all come into the pit. No, Ben's faked it.
Faked it.
Gee, that was a very, very late decision to fake it, as Berserk came into the pits, and Ryan and Ben stay out for another lap. So
yeah,
strategy is coming into play.
Cheeky little strategy.
Yeah. And them coming in now, it only puts HO into an even stronger position, because Berserk's only going to have 1 lap fresher tyres, and you know, he didn't really make the most of those soft compound tyres.
Yeah, I think HO could be on for a fair bit of a decent point here today, as he's looking on the inside of Brock stuff. He doesn't decide to dive up for a move. Yeah, currently P7, obviously Warden, he hasn't decided to hit yet, but he's splitting the two there. So I doubt Team Order's, well, unless Warden can close in as he's sliding through Sector 2, he does seem to be struggling here. Obviously, we saw him spin on the first lap, and I believe a fair bit later on, but HO has just got past Brock does stuff for P6, and he's only got Poms just a little bit in front. Obviously, Poms, good result from him, but someone we sort of gone under the radar is Jared, up into 3rd now, starting at the back. We did point on him earlier, but he's had absolutely an incredible start.
Yeah, he's only 2 seconds behind Ryan, and catching Ryan as well. So we'll see what happens on lap 11 if Ryan does dive into the pits. So
does Jared.
The first Mercedes driver in, and Jared as well. So we'll see if they put on the medium compound tyre, you would expect so, and go to the end of the race. But like I said before, it's only helping HO because a 2-lap undercut, 2-lap fresher tyres for Ryan, you know, is it enough to make up the 6-7 seconds he might come out behind HO?
Yeah, I mean, HO is obviously, you know, he's jumped, well, he hasn't jumped them, but he's defended his position, so to speak. And he's now all over the back of Poms for 3rd. So yeah, HO, he's going to be on for a decent performance here. as Master Berserk P6, Ryan obviously P7. Warden has dived it in.
Yeah, not a good race so far from Warden. Obviously, he got involved with the first corner incident as HO down the inside of Poms, and nice move there, up into third place. But yeah, not a good start for Warden so far, so with the incident at the start, and then being caught up with Ruthink Bird it was with a second spin. So there's a lot of ground to make up if he wants to score some points here in Bahrain. But yeah, what have we got here? Berserk is, what's he, 3.5 seconds behind HO. So the gap's not really come down at all, has it?
No, it hasn't one bit. It's going to be interesting as actually Ben is diving in. Will Jetson follow? But what I was going to say, it's going to be interesting to see where these guys come out in terms of track position. So we have to keep an eye with Ben. Obviously, you know, in the Sauber's pit lane is at the completely other end of the garage. Jetson has dived in, so HO will grab the race lead. We you know, expect.
And we'll have to see if Ryan does jump Ben, if the undercut does work for that Mercedes driver, and it looks like it has, and he has jumped Ben as he goes very deep into turn 1. That could compromise his run down the straight here, but it looks like he's got it covered, and Ryan performing the undercut on Tina Marlock by pitting that one lap earlier.
Yeah, I was just standing with Warden. He jumped both Jetson and Poms there in the pit, so he's up to 11th, but the Williams hasn't pitted yet. So Warden will be in the points, and it's all about how many points he can get. But sort of, we've got a bit of a deja vu now. We've obviously Master was at 3rd, and we've got Brian and Ben. It's the order it was. And now they're going to have to sort of re-change back into what they were before the pit.
Yeah. And we've got Brock Does Stuff in 2nd place, who's not a factor in this race. He hasn't pitted yet. But while we've got some time, I once again just say if anyone wants to donate to the stream, you can by clicking the $ at the bottom of the chat. You can donate, it'd be much appreciated. And of course, you can also sponsor us if you want to do so. And if you want to sign up to the league, if you're new to the stream, you can do so by clicking the link in the description down below. We have Berserk all over the back of Brock, and he should, if Brock is nice, pass him into the first corner, and he goes from a long way back and just gets the car stopped in time. And
there was a little bit of contact between the two.
Yeah, not
overly happy from Brock really with the move, but he's let Ryan go sort of nice and easy. Will he let Ben go through? He's sort of just being a double-decker bus, you could say. Just sort of sitting there, and definitely. Oh, Ben's off front wing on Brock on lap 14 here. Brock's just gone AI, but Ben ran into the back of Brock, and he's now losing. You know, he's lost a little bit of front wing on the front left there. So that
could be big news in this race, yeah.
It could affect him for the rest. You know, it's all about sort of his choice now. Does he decide to pit a little bit later on, throw on a set of softs as he's sort of weaving around there? Maybe not very happy. But Ryan is still on the back of Master Berserk, but yeah, Ben, he's not going to be happy with the damage he got there, and he'd probably have a couple of words with Brock.
Yeah, I'm sure other people might have a few words with Brock as well. He might be getting some messages after the race from fans as well. Not too happy about what happened there, but shout out to Lamp Games, who donated $1.99 US. Thank you for doing that, mate. As we have Berserk and Ryan very close to each other, just 3/10 apart, and this is for 2nd place, as HO is once again extending his margin. It was 3.5 seconds, it's now up to nearly 4 seconds as Berserk goes very defensive in towards turn 4.
Yeah, I'm just keeping an eye on Ben, and he's definitely struggling with the front wing damage, which is a shame from him. He was on for, you know, a decent result, and he does really need it in order to fight back in the championship. He hasn't had the best of results, He got second out in Baku, but fourth in China and sixth in Australia. So I think today he could have potentially got a race win, or at least on the podium, as Master Berserk's actually just gone wide into turn 10, which has just allowed Ryan through nice and easy.
Yeah, big mistake there from Berserk, and we'll now see Ryan's pace, and if he is indeed able to catch HO and battle for the win, it's 4.3 seconds, and we're coming to towards the end of lap 15, so there'll be 13 laps to go after this, and with 2 lap fresher tyres, obviously the question will be, can Ryan catch HO and win this race?
Yeah, HO hasn't got that much fuel to burn either, so compared to, I was going to say, compared to Ryan and Master Berserk as well. So HO is going to have to be sort of saving a bit of fuel, but at the same time he's going to need to be, you know, burning it on the straights in order to just to keep the gap there. At the minute, Ryan hasn't seemed to got away from Master Berserk, but you never know what can happen on lap 16.
Yep.
Looking towards Ben, he's 3.3 seconds now from Master Berserk, when, you know,
so
he was
if you
pretty
were
much
Ben,
on the back of them.
If you were Ben, would you come into the pits and change your front wing, or do you have to just hang it out? Would you lose too much time?
I think at the minute, if he stays where he is, you know, it does look like Jared will probably get past him. You know, he has been closing. Brock still has to pit. But then you've got Drop Bear and like Formula Fish. There's quite big gaps between them. So Ben may be able to... I think it's probably safer to stay out. But obviously, you know, from his frame of mind, it depends what he wants to do. Because if he pits, I'm not too sure where he will come out. But from the looks of things, it will be quite far down, and it'd be behind Warden for sure. And because the gaps, like from Formula Fish to Drop there, it's 5.9 now, nearly 6 seconds, and trying to make up that time in not too many laps, it's going to be a tricky one for sure. Ryan's just had the quickest time on the mediums there, so showing his pace, and he's closing to HO with 12 laps to go.
Yep, gap 3.5 seconds, so it's come down from 4.5. So Ryan indeed does have the pace. That HO is going to have to put a big fight up in the latter stages of this race if he's going to hold on to a victory that he has deserved. He's led pretty much the entire race, put in a great lap in qualifying to put that car on pole position by well over half a second. So we'll see if he can hang on to the win.
I think with HO, the
we
worst
got,
case scenario.
Warden just passed. Sorry about that. We've got Warden passing
Go on.
Luke for 8, and we got Jared all over the back of Ben here. So the damage is really starting to hurt Team Armada.
Yeah, I was just wondering with HO, the worst case scenario for him with how the race is going is that it finished 3rd, which is still on the podium with Ryan closing and Master Berserk only a little bit behind, but with the damage from Ben, it's now 5.2 seconds. And obviously, if Ben holds up Jared, the time is just gonna sort of, you know, it's just, well, improve for HO's point of view. But I think HO definitely is gonna be on the podium. I'll say that. But
Yep.
my original predictions has just gone out the window.
Indeed, unfortunate for your sake there. But let's see if Jared, with DRS now active. Interestingly, he doesn't have a lot of fuel available to use, so having to go and lean down the pit straight. Obviously, Ben's got 1.2 laps of fuel compared to Jared, 0.2 laps of fuel. So a big difference between the two drivers. I've got a question in the chat from Sarah Hamilton. What was the pole time? Pole time was a 128.1 from HO on the super soft tyre. Ryan, Berserk and Ben all started on the soft tyre. And shout out to
the key thing.
Shout out to Hayden, who donated £2 to the stream. So thank you for that, Hayden. Much appreciated.
we've got a mixture of nationalities, it seems. Obviously American with the dollars, and now the British pound.
I made sure I got it right this time. I just had a quick look to make sure it was pounds and not euros, because I did mess up last week and I called it pounds instead of euros by mistake. But we can see Jared here all over the back of Ben. He got such a better exit out of the penultimate corner, and he might think about a move into the final corner, is he? He's shaping up for one, but he holds back, and he's actually running to the back of Ben as well, and it doesn't look like he's suffering.
Atro's left the session.
Atro's left! Oh! Big drama here for the race leader!
Here?
The race leader has left the session! And that's going to give Ryan the lead of the race. What's happened here to Acho?
Acho probably, I know a couple of people were saying, I think it was yesterday, in league races they had Xbox updates, but Acho's back in, but it's too late for the man. Ryan has got the race lead. Masters will most likely get past him as well. So Acho's left the session again.
Oh no,
not,
disaster! Disaster for the Red Bull driver. He's led the entire Grand Prix, and to have an issue like that with just 10 laps remaining. Oh, I feel sorry for him. Incredible.
Yeah, he could have been on for, you know, some good points here today and potentially a race win. We don't know for sure, but he's down in third and it's just his AI going around at the minute. But Ben and Jared, they're closing, which is just going to drop him down to fifth and further down the field most likely if he can't seem to get back into the car.
And it looks like he had an issue with Xbox Live connection, and he can't join back. He's just said he can't join back. Disaster for HO, leading the race, and then unbelievable.
Yeah,
bit
staying
of luck
back on all of the
him.
battles. Yeah, shame for HO, but Jared is all over the back of Ben. Probably going for a move into turn one. Jared's looking on the inside. Ben doesn't want to give him that, but Jared is going to try and dive it up the inside, but it does seem that Ben has, well, he's managed to keep the position, but they are just about to jump past HO for the last podium position. It's such a shame from the Red Bulls, as you said. Just his race has just gone from potentially his best finish, you know, the race win, to sadly not even finishing now.
Yeah. So now this fight between Jared and Ben, as Jared has another little look, can't get the move done. But now this battle is for the final spot on the podium. So we'll see. Jared has got so much more pace, obviously, because of the issue for Ben. Another shout out to War Blazer Guns, who donated £1.99. So thanks for that, mate. Much appreciated. But back to the action. Ben has got another 8.5 laps to go with that damaged front wing. He's just going to try and nurse his car home. You can see the understeer through the high-speed corners. He just doesn't have the grip of Jared at the moment. And then Jared just, he probably wishes he had a bit more fuel at this moment in time.
Yeah, definitely. He's sort of pushing him, to be fair, through turn 13, it does seem. But I think Ryan made a little bit of a mistake, because Master is 6 tenths behind.
Yeah, we'll have to see that in a moment, but let's see if Jared makes a move into the first corner. He comes from a long way back, and there's contact between the two of them, and Ben's gone round. Jared has stopped on track, and that's going to put drop bear right onto the back of them. Now, so the podium battle just intensified once more, but a very late move from Jared, and he couldn't get the move done. Ben didn't see him coming and closed the door. I'm not sure how the stewards think of that one if it gets taken to them, but it looked like a racing incident. But we'll have to wait and see, as Jared was so much more grip and speed. He carried so much more speed through there, and now he gets the switch back. Can he make the move stick before turns 9 and 10? Ben squeezing him to the edge of the track there. I don't know how Jared would feel about that. So great racing here, and Warden, incredibly,
yeah, I was just
is on
about
the
to
back
point
of this
that out.
battle.
I don't know where Warden's come from, but yeah, he's currently, well, he's P6, but yeah, he's all over the back. We've got a 4 sort of red, 4 cars all battling for third position, but the incident between Ben and Jared, it does seem that Jared's just sort of getting tired as he's going to look on the outside now to turn 13. We've seen him get such a better exit as Ben. He's probably not going to give him much room. He's going to be angry after turn 1, but I think Jared's just getting sort of frustrated now behind him. But Warden's trying to get past Drop Bear.
Warden behind up the inside and up into 5th place. Incredible comeback from Warden, who was plumb last at the end of lap 1. Jared with a DRS all over the back of Ben. It's as close as he's been. Surely he'll go for a move down the inside of turn 1 this time round. And he does, down the inside. And he finally, does he make it stick? They touch again. So thankfully no one goes around. Warden looking for a way through. But Jared finally claws his way up into 3rd place. Ben trying to fight back, but he just can't with the damaged front wing, and they make contact again! And then Big gets him behind, with Warden getting involved. And Warden's got front wing damage, and Drop Bear's up into the podium places. Chaos everywhere here in Bahrain.
Yeah, and now also Jared as well. He's going to look to try and get past Ben, but we've got front wing damage for Warden, which could potentially cost him. With only Jetson 3.4 seconds behind, so he could close up with, you know, only about 7 laps to go here. But Jared, his teammate, he's all over the back of Ben for P6, but a huge amount of sort of seams, you could say here, as the gap from 2nd to 3rd is 18 seconds. After all the battling, all sort of the, you know, the spinning, it's nearly a pit stop between, you know, 2nd and 3rd.
Incredible. So obviously some tension then between Jared and Ben. Obviously Ben wasn't too happy about what happened the lap before. Into the 1st corner, Jared all over the back of Ben again into the final corner. And he's finally got a run, has he? The two are pretty much touching down the pit straight. Ben trying to put him into the barriers here. Almost like Schumacher on Barrichello. But as Jared finally got the move done, Ben moves into him on the brakes. That's a bit naughty. Jared tries to run him off the road, and it looks like finally Jared has passed Ben. It's come at a cost. He's lost his podium position, but it looks like finally he's through.
Yeah, Warden is actually closing to the back of Drop Bear. So Warden could end up on the podium still after his, you know, spin into turn 1, which will be an incredible recovery drive from him. But for someone like Ryan and Master's, you must think for them, this is sort of 1st and 2nd sealed for them. It's 20 seconds back to Drop Bear nearly.
Incredible, and just to think, you know, just a few laps ago, Ben was in front of Ryan. Incredible to see the margin extend the way it has. Warden with front wing damage as well, remember, all over the back of Drop Bear for the final spot on the podium. If Drop Bear can hold on to this, it'll be a fantastic result for him. I mean, you know, he's not one of the quickest in this tier, but, you know, to grab a podium like that, you know, opportunistic, isn't it? You know, started on the front row, so he would have earned this podium.
For sure. I've just been on board with this little battle for 12 with Chimchar and Death Bro. Quite a little good battle going on here. Obviously, not for any points, but yeah, between the two, it's been going on for sort of since the start of the lap, and they've been side by side pretty much for the majority. So, a nice little sort of battling from the two. Hopefully, it stays clear.
Here we go.
Something we can't see for everyone else.
Drop Bear's having the cover. Sorry, Swarm. Warden trying to go around the outside. Can't. Does the switch back and has gone past Drop Bear and up into the podium places. Can he hold on to it though? He's got 4.5 laps to do so with a damaged front wing. But incredible drive from Warden, you know, plumb last to potentially a spot on the podium. No one saw that coming after lap 1.
No, I think definitely with me as well. I did not see this coming one bit. It's the race has just, it's sort of just flipped on its head, you could say. It's gone from what the original order was, all of a sudden it's just sort of been thrown into a hat, dragged out, and now these are the new positions with everything which has gone on. We've got the Toro Rossos in 5th and 6th, which no one expected, and then Warden's up into 3rd, which don't know where he came from, but he's now on the podium. And then yeah, Ben with the damage now down in P7.
Incredible. Out in front, meanwhile, we I've pretty much forgotten about it till out front. Ryan's just controlling this race by looks at 1.4 seconds ahead of Master Berserk, and you know, not much has happened between them two. All the action's happened further behind. Into turn 1 we go with Warden and Drop Bear. Warden a bit too far ahead of Drop Bear for Drop Bear to attack, but I don't think he'll give up. He'll try all he can, and look who's coming up behind him, Jetson. Jetson F1 in the Toro Rosso, within a second of Drop Bear, and he could potentially grab a spot on the podium. You know, he's got a full front wing, he's got, you know, good tyres, and he's catching these two.
Yeah, he's catching them incredibly, so as long as he can sort of just nail these sort of next couple of laps, he'd definitely be on the back of them, and if he can get past Drop Bear nice and easy, and doesn't lose too much time to Warden, you know, as long as he still gets that DRS, and he could be on for a good finish here. He's actually just gone wide a little bit, so a bit of a commentator's curse into turn 10. He did make a little bit of an error, but with how this race seems to be going.
Oh, sorry, just quickly, Chimchar and Death. Chimchar running into the back of Death and damaging his front wing there. So, I don't know what happened. I don't know if Death broke a bit early, but front wing damage for Chimchar. So, action everywhere. Wherever you're looking, Drop Bear is right on the back of Warden. 0.2 of a second, so Warden must have made a mistake somewhere during this lap. So let's see if Drop Bear can get a run out of the final corner and potentially slipstream his way past Fuel. They're both in the rich. Warden covers lap 26. We've got 3 laps remaining here in Bahrain. It's been an incredible race. It's flown by. Drop Bear can't make a move into the first corner, and Jetson is just there waiting to pounce on the two of them in front.
Yeah, Jetson's probably hoping that Drop Bear goes for a audacious move on Warden. So maybe a little bit of contact slows him down, and Jetson is just going to probably try and slide past both of them and just sort of, you know, see them later, you could say. But this race has just been incredible, and it doesn't seem to be ending either. I think that's one of the key factors is, you know, we've still got this battle for third with Warden, Drop Bear and Jetson F1. It's it's been an incredible race. I've said it so much, but I said it was going to be incredible, and it definitely has been.
Yeah, we've had some cracking races this season. You know, the battle in Australia between Ryan and Warden, albeit Warden had a bunch of penalties, so he couldn't actually convert the win on track. We had China with Ryan making the move in the last corner to win the race, as Jetson is all over the back of Drop Bear and goes for a move. Then he pails out in the last minute of that move, and it's only allowing Warden to stretch his legs once more. Baku last week, not the most exciting race, but Warden claiming his first victory of the season. And with Bahrain having just 2 laps remaining, we don't know who's going to be on the final step of the podium. First and second, we can all but say, is Ryan and Berserk. Whoever gets the third step, we don't know. Jetson again, does he look for a move down the inside? No, he doesn't. It's just tightening up between third, fourth and fifth, with just a lap and a half remaining. I don't know who's going to get third.
Yeah, I don't have a clue either, to be fair. It's not even like penalties are going to sort of have an effect here. Because this track, it's, you know, in terms of corner cutting, there's not much you can do. Something has happened in Sector 2 between one of the guys, I'm not too sure who. The Williams of Sado down there. He sadly had a moment, but there is actually a battle going on with Peter over Defro and Chimchar, but we're trying to keep an eye on the battle for third. Well, more fourth at the minute, with Jetson trying to get past Drop Bear. He's going to get the DRS here to sort of just pull him ever so closer in order to just sort of sit on the back of him going into turn 13, which we've seen is, for people without a front wing, they struggle so much, and Jetson with the full front wing, he's going to be able to carry so much speed into it, get a good run going down to the final corner, and then maybe for an overtaking move into turn 1, but we'll have to wait and see. Probably doesn't want to stick too close in case, you know, with the front wing he could just hit the back of Drop Bear. As Warden, he's sort of dropped actually a little bit back, so Drop Bear's ever so closer. As Jetson now are only 2 attempts behind Drop Bear. He needs a good exit here around the final corner, which he seemed to have done nice and smooth, didn't hit any curb, all on the track. As Drop Bear sort of looking, he's trying to get in a slipstream of Warden to help him defend from Jetson. Jetson's got the DRS, he's got the slipstream, he's in rich even though he doesn't have that much fuel to burn. Is he going to go for the move on the inside? He's looking on the inside, he has dived out the inside into turn 1. Can he get the move done from drop bay? He wants to try and get this done nice and easy so he doesn't lose too much time. They are wheel banging, a little bit of contact between the Haas and the Toro Rosso, but it does seem that Jetson has got the move done, which is what he needs. He's only 1.3 seconds behind Warden now on lap 28, so potentially a last sort of lap battle between Warden and Jetson, if Jetson can just nail every single corner and just get as close as he can. But a good little move from the Toro Rosso driver there.
Yeah, Jetson might be a little bit too far behind Warden to bring an attack on. And incredibly, you know, Warden from last on lap 1 is going to finish on the podium if he can just hold it on for his last couple of corners. But we've got New Zealand Ryan coming around the final corner now to claim his 3rd victory of the season. It's New Zealand Ryan who wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Is it? I don't know. We've got one more lap remaining. Sorry,
you've got one more lap.
We got one more lap. I thought we were on the last lap.
Racing. No,
I
it's
thought
not
we were
ending
one lap
yet.
in front. Okay, so
Not
maybe
ending
Jetson
yet. There's
can.
still one more lap. The race has been that exciting. Forgotten what lap it was. We want it just to carry on forever.
So final lap of this race. And Jetson hasn't gained too much on Warden this lap. He's actually lost a bit of time. 1.5 seconds is the margin. So yeah, it looks like Warden will hang on.
He hasn't got fuel to burn. I've just had a look now, and he's having to run in lean, so he's got no rich fuel to just burn away and get that extra speed he's got compared to Warden, who has. But now we are on the final lap with Ryan and 3 now.
So elsewhere, Brock is catching Ben for 7th place here. So remember, Brock went a different strategy. He started on the medium tyre, going onto the soft tyre, but now we got Ryan come around the last corner to win the race. I got it right that time around. Ryan wins from Berserk. Warden should, fingers crossed, for his sake, come and take 3rd place, and he's about to lap HO, who very well really could have won this race. As Warden finishes 3rd, Jetson crosses the line behind him in 4th, and Drop Bet in 5th, and Jared, well, what could have been for Jared? No. Internet is Ben.
No. Yeah, I was just thinking about HO as well, the poor guy. It's just, he was on for a potential race win, and then he gets lapped by Warden on the final lap, who finishes in the 3rd spot, which ultimately HO, he could have got 3rd, and from the looks of things, most likely would have done, with all the battling which happened behind him, and all the contact there was.
Oh, what a race. I almost ran out of breath from that race. That's incredible. We've had brilliant racing this season. Not been one race where it's been boring. It's all been full of excitement. We got Revelation and Death. Last 2 across the line. Kim Cha comes around the last corner and will be the last one to finish the race, but incredible. I wanted this race to continue for another 20-30 laps. I mean, it was just full of excitement everywhere you looked. But
the changes which happened, it was just absolutely mind-blowing.
Well, Ryan claims his 3rd victory of the season, and he extends his championship lead over Warden to 17 points. They're going to have to do something to stop this man this season. Last season's champion. A lot of drivers, trying to race with him, just never seem to be able to beat him. But You know, hard luck to Ho. You know, he thoroughly deserved the victory, but unfortunate for him to disconnect, and the results are Ryan winning from Berserk and Warden. So double podium for Ferrari. Jetson, Drop Bear, Jared, team at Marlock after, you know, it could have been a win, you know. It was ahead of Ryan at one stage. Brock, Luke, Homs, Funk Guru, Death, Revelation, Chimchar, and we had a few people retire in Neon who didn't start, Stato, and Rhythmic Bird. So
Yeah, one hell of a race.
incredible, you know. Sum it up in your words, Swarm. What do you think of it?
Oh, I think it's going to be interesting. That's what I said at the start, and but no, it was incredible. Sticking with the eye, but one hell of a race, and just from Bahrain for the rest of the season, you can already tell how amazing that this season is going to be. You know, we've got I think after Bahrain, there's still like 11 rounds to go, and that's 11 rounds of racing like that. So, you know, Greek, you're going to want to, you know, just rest your voice up and sort of just relax before any of these ones.
You know, I hope the rest of the season is, you know, as good as the first 4 races. I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching and calling these first 4 races. And quick shout out to Lamp Games again, who donated another $1.99 US. So thanks, mate. And on that note, we'll wrap it all up. Thank you everyone for watching. It's been incredible, you know, one of the best races all season. Tune in at 8 PM UK time for the European leagues. Thanks to Swarm for commentating with me this week. Matt will be back next week, hopefully. Harry for doing the stream. Obviously without him there would be no stream. And thank you to all the viewers for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye bye.
I think all I want is perfection. Please tell me how, I don't know the direction.